Hey y'all, it's Gabe of the-male-persuasian.tumblr.com, and this is my 8-month and 1-week update on testosterone. I'm going to issue a blanket apology right now. I'm kind of starting to come down with something, so I might be sniffling or coughing a little bit for the next couple of minutes, so bear with me. Just wanted to kind of have a quick recap of the past month and how my transition's going. So I'll start out with the fact that I had a really positive experience a couple weeks ago at my uncle's wedding at the end of October. I went up to Maryland to see him and be part of the ceremony where he married his husband, and they're very cute together. They're both very tall, and every single member of my new family and my extended family was wonderful. I've kind of had a weird, generally negative, or at least an apprehension around coming out to family, because my uncle was very accepting of me because, I mean, he's gay, and he has also worked with transgender resources in the California area a couple years ago, so he knows about being trans and what it means in a general sense. So he was really accepting. He had to do his own processing, but he was very accepting. But I wasn't in contact with my uncle as much as I was with his brother, my dad, and my mom. And so my parents are not as accepting. So I kind of have this negative association in my mind of being trans in relation to family, because my parents are still coming around. If they ever come around, they aren't. They're still using my birth name and pronouns, despite any kind of request or comment I make to the opposite. So, yeah. So I was really nervous about going to this wedding because, like, this is a whole bunch of family I haven't seen since I was really little, like pre-transition Gabe. And I had no idea how they would take this, and it was wonderful. You get a bunch of Filipinos around a lechon, and suddenly, like, everything is great. All of my aunts and uncles and cousins of various degrees were all super supportive, even the ones who remembered me from when I was little. New cousins that I met, and cousins that I haven't seen since since before I could remember. Everyone was super amazing. They all used my preferred name, all used my preferred pronouns, and so I had it was spiritually energizing, but physically exhausting, but totally worth it. It was such a great weekend, and I took that positivity with me straight back from Maryland to the GRE. 2 days after I came back into Atlanta, I was taking the GRE, which was a weirdly positive experience as well, because I went, and despite having all of my ID, like my passport and driver's license and stuff, all listing my birth name with my gender assigned at birth, I was still sir'd and mister'd through the pre-testing ritual of upturning your pockets and being metal scanned. So that was great. It was a little, I wasn't expecting that, but I guess the proctor didn't look too closely and just read my gender correctly, which was awesome. And then I beasted the GRE thanks to that little confidence boost at the center, and now all I have to do is get through the arduous process of applying to grad schools. I'm probably only going to apply to 3 or 4 since it's so expensive, but feeling really great about that, and I'm going to be churning those out in the next week or so. So that's how my general life has been with regards to things going on. But with regards to transition specifically, I am struggling a little bit. Pardon my slurring. See, I'm having a hard time focusing on things. Like, I have to be in a very specific mood, and this mood is very rare now, and when it comes, it's fleeting, to be productive. It's getting harder for me to focus on getting something done in one sitting, and I used to have a little bit of a problem with that, but now it's really bad. It's like my brain is full of Rice Krispies, like, that have just gotten milk poured all over them, so it's just like pop, 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 and it's really hard to focus on a lot of my assignments and things, so I'm kind of struggling with regards to that. though I suppose it is to be expected with second puberty. A friend of mine kind of put it in Pokemon terms for me. She was like, it's my second evolution, and this is my final form. So that's exciting. No one ever said the evolution process was fun. Just ask the doctor. His regenerations always seemed a little painful. So this is just one long extended second puberty, and I get to deal with the weird exhaustion and inability to focus. Hopefully for only a few more months. Hopefully my levels will kind of, plateau, and I can get on with my life. Because at least with, first puberty, you're kind of doing it with all your friends. But now I'm that awkward 12-year-old in the middle of 20-year-olds. So everybody, I'm having these weird energy boosts and sleeping patterns. It's college though, so my sleeping patterns aren't that different. But it's kind of weird going through puberty by yourself. Which is, I don't know, something to consider. It wouldn't have affected, I wouldn't have not transitioned for that. But yeah, anyway, so getting scattered, being a little all over the place is kind of the hallmark of this month. But like I said, hopefully a friend of mine who is a little more advanced in his transition mentioned that he plateaued around this time, so I'm hoping that someday soon I can get my life together. But I'm going to move away from transition for my final point, which is probably the most important. It's definitely the most important. Some of you may have heard about the typhoon that plowed through the Philippine Islands this past weekend. Typhoon Yolanda, the international name was Haiyan, struck the Philippines, and actually the first place it made landfall was Guiuan in eastern Samar, where my family, a good chunk of my family is, and all the extended family at the wedding, that side of the family, no one who was at the wedding, but that extended side of the family is from eastern Samar and Tacloban and that area. So it was a really harrowing couple of days. We're still trying to track down relatives, but all of this is to say, if you have a chance, I don't have a list right now, but I'm going to put one underneath in the description. Please, please, please consider donating to a reputable rescue organization in this time right now, as the Philippines is trying to get back on its feet. Now, the Philippine people are very strong and resilient. In fact, the Philippines averages about 20 typhoons a year, but this is extraordinarily, the scale of the destruction that happened with this typhoon is particularly large. So if you could just take a second, $5, $1, whatever you can give to try and help all the millions of Filipino people who are now without homes and shelter, please, please, please consider checking out one of the links below and donating. I would be eternally grateful to you, and the people of the Philippines could really, really, really use the help. So just take a look down there, take a minute, maybe catch up on the news, what's going on, and send out your prayers or, positive cosmic vibes or thoughts. Just send them to the Philippines, however you can or however you do, because the Philippines needs it right now. So yes, please, please, please have the Philippines in your prayers for the recovery period, and hopefully things will get better there soon, or well, things will start getting better there soon. But until next month, have a wonderful existence, and I guess I will see you around the internet.